Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast, live from O'Hare. No, it just sounds like an airplane coming in. That's because we'll get to Ryan Herrera out in Mesa, Arizona in just a second. There he is. Ryan, baby, 70 degrees. He's taking off the hoodie. He's showing us the pythons, the short sleeve shirt. He's got the brick by brick on, and it is another thank you, Jay, for coming up with this Therapy Tuesday here on CHGO Cubs
Jay.
Podcast. Therapy
also,
Tuesday.
Credit to us for bullying Ryan to taking his hoodie off.
That's right. He was like, oh, it's a little chilly here. And I'm like, man, it's 70.
I didn't say chilly. I said it was a little breezy.
He got peer pressured, but he is showing us that it is nice and warm where he's at. By the way, guys, shout out to all the new diehards out there signing up in droves as we get ready for spring training and, of course, the Bears with the #1 pick. New high diehards in the last 24 hours. Nathan, Andrew, Raymond, Joe, and Matt.
Shout out to y'all, bro.
Thank you for joining the family. See you on the Discord. See you getting your free shirt. I saw that Joe the other day said he was getting his already. You get the free shirt. You get all Ryan's content, which is going to be coming in like crazy right now, especially from spring training. This is first day out there. How's it going? How's it feel? Other than it was a little breezy. Excuse me.
Well, speaking of content, you said we did our first newsletter this morning, CHGO Cubs newsletter. So some may be unlocked, but many will be for diehards only. So if you're interested in that, another perk for our diehards. But yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a beautiful day out here. Sun's out. Would you say it's 70 degrees out? You're
70, 9 mile an hour wind, 38 in Chicago.
Yeah, 9 mile an hour. Yeah, a little breezy, but I took the hoodie off for you guys because I'm a team player. I'm part of the team. I'll do what you guys tell me to do. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's coming back here really is baseball season. Obviously, Super Bowl ends on Sunday, and that's kind of the start of baseball season for us. But seeing the guys out there, we talked to Nico earlier today. We're able to catch some glimpses of Shota Imanaga, the Cubs' new signing out of Japan, and just other guys, arriving. I don't think the entire team's here. I want to say something. I heard something around like 90% of the team's already here. Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. We'll talk to Jed and Carter and Craig Counsell, and we'll really get going tomorrow. But yeah, it's a nice day to kind of get back in the swing of things out here in Mesa. Baseball's back.
And Ryan's on the ground for like 2 weeks out there, the next couple of weeks. By the way, we're all company men. We're all team players. Why? Ryan went from the camo CHGO hoodie, which is all one of our favorites that you can get the CHGO locker at ALLCITY.com. Now he's taking that off. He's showing us the brick by brick, the Bragg special, talking about the Bears. He's got that shirt on. I have the diehard hoodie, right, that came with signing up for being a diehard. Underneath, CHGO Bears. So I'm, like Ryan, double company guy. Cody has the T-shirt on, just the Chicago flag, CHGO. Is that a CHGO hat, too?
Yeah.
We each doubled down on the company merch today.
Credit to us.
Credit to us.
We need like a blue CHGO hat to signify Cubs, though.
Team,
Just my
right,
opinion.
yeah.
Like every team in the city, like to get a red one for Bulls, maybe a orange and blue, kind of like your hoodie for Bears.
The red one could cover Blackhawks and Bulls.
True.
I mean, technically the black could, but I mean, if a red one, you could. All you'd have to do is a red and a blue.
Yeah. If you get a nice little blue hat, though.
Shout out to everybody in the live.
We're like
YouTube
a
chat,
powder blue, like the spring training hats the Cubs have.
Yeah, you're into the powder blue.
I've been seeing all the players wearing the spring training hat and like all the pictures that our guy.
Which I will say it looks very cool. Those hats are nice.
They do hit. They are. I've been getting a lot of slander on TikTok and Instagram for my hat rankings. But the Cubs spring training hat is different. It's the best, in my opinion, of all 30 teams. And that's not biased. I think it's legitimately true. I would go Orioles number 2.
Brandon in the live YouTube chat says, Ryan needs to show off the 100% barrel rate. Leave the hoodie off. I want to know where you're standing at. Where are you standing? You got a little chain link fence? Is this it is Sloan Park, right?
We're right at the practice fields.
Wow, look at that. Ryan Herrera just took us to Sloan Park, and it's like we're standing there soaking in Cubs baseball.
Can't wait. Can't wait to be there.
I kicked everyone off the field, said Cubs shows is more important. You got to leave. And everyone listened, obviously. So there we go. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Is our good friend Max Bain there? Have you seen him?
I haven't seen Max Bain yet, but maybe we'll get him to make another guest appearance on the show. Out of nowhere. We'll
I
see.
have yet to
It'll be a nice
text him.
surprise.
I have yet to text him. I want to text him and tell him that I'm going to be out there.
So Ryan saw pictures. Well, he took pictures with his phone of Imanaga arriving, signing autographs. What can you tell us? How does he look, Ryan? Have you seen him throw yet? How does he look in a shirt? Is he attractive? What?
No, I haven't gotten a chance to see a bullpen or anything like that. He looks like a baseball player, man. He looks like the kind of guy the Cubs need. So I don't know. There's just a group of fans out here. I don't know. Oh wow. I don't know whether it was a group of fans like Cubs fans or whether it was people that followed him, from Japan. But yeah, he already had a big group of fans here waiting to get his autograph after practice and stuff. So obviously he's a name people care about already. And we'll see. I would love to get a glimpse of him throwing bullpen, seeing the ball move. Everything we've heard out of Japan is the stuff is awesome. The stuff is elite. So it'll be interesting to see once he really gets going. Obviously, again, like I said, pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. So I'm sure he'll be getting one of those going here soon.
Well, we've seen Justin Steele already on social media saying, I've seen this guy throw and it's filthy.
Yeah, you watch him throw a bullpen, said something about his slider.
Yeah, and he's like, this guy's filthy. I'm buying my jersey or cap or what. I don't remember what it was, or stock. He was all about it. Nico Horner kind of doubled down on just how Imanaga is already fitting in. Like we saw that, Ryan, at Cubs convention, just when he comes out and starts introducing himself and speaking English to everybody.
Yeah.
He won everybody over in that moment, but it sounds like Nico is just as impressed with him now that he's arrived in spring training.
Yeah, no. Do we have that quote from Nico? We got that one? There it is.
Partial. You want to read it or you want me to read it?
Go ahead. Take it.
Can you see it? I just always think it's interesting playing with guys from different places and the routines that they bring with them. Obviously, on the Japanese side, I've been able to see Seiya go through his work, but Imanaga has really, I think, fit in pretty quickly with his personality. He's obviously very on top of his work, but has a good sense of humor, too. Just kind of all you can ask for from a teammate. So it's nice to see. The guy's blending in with the team already. Now, if he can fit in as a great number 3 starter or number 2 starter, even better. It's
great to see that he's there. He showed up last week. I believe Rich Beasterfield, who's in the chat, tweeted pictures of him there last week. So, he showed up early. It looks like he's motivated, wants to continue to get better, like he said in his opening presser. Like he thinks that there's still more to unlock out of him. Like, obviously, all this stuff is things you want to see. He's got to go out there and prove it, of course. But, he's definitely made a great impression with the opening presser. And, to see him out there early in Arizona is exciting to see. So I'm excited to see like his first spring training outing and stuff like that.
Can you guys hear this plane?
Yeah,
It is.
You're close enough to the Phoenix airport. Yeah.
It keeps
Luke,
freaking me out.
These planes literally fly right above me. Right above Sloan Park. So, but no, I agree with everything you guys said. And you heard it even at Cubs convention. Some of these guys that had just met Imanaga, right, and had one conversation with him, talking about how funny he was and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's similar to what they've kind of said with Seiya. Like maybe Seiya wasn't outwardly to like the media or to us like cracking jokes or any of that kind of stuff right away, but like everything you heard when Seiya first arrived was that like he's got a good sense of humor, he fits in, that kind of stuff. So I think Seiya for one will help with that, right? Having a fellow former Japanese baseball player, NPB guy already in the organization on the team will help with Imanaga's little transition. But I do think the way these guys talk about him already, he's kind of hit the ground running as far as fitting in like that off the field transition stuff of talking to those guys, getting to know them. And, even though there might be a language barrier, not letting it kind of affect him and not letting it, not allow him to show his personality. I think that's from, what we've heard is that he's starting to do a good job of allowing that personality to come through with these guys that that are here already.
I know that you're going to every single day there will be Bellinger questions for you. Guaranteed for the first 2 weeks there will be Bellinger questions. And I can already see in our live chat, people are starting to get a little more torn than they were before. Godfather's mad. He says, great, everybody's got a nice sense of humor. Now go sign Bellinger. And other people in the chat are saying, you know what? He's not going to live up to the contract because he's dragging this out. Let's just move on from the whole thing. I heard Jesse Rogers when I was driving in talking about that he had talked to people in the Cubs organization that there's no progress on the Bellinger thing at this point. I'm starting to question whether or not Scott Boris has overplayed his hand. Like I said, maybe 2 months ago, my take on it was the Cubs are playing a dangerous game of chicken, and I still believe that because I think they need the guy on their roster. But the longer it goes, it does seem to feel like Boris had this high asking point, and he's finding out, you know what? Too many teams are worried about the 2 years prior to last season that are saying, this may not play out as long and as successful as you think it will, and maybe the market's not as great. So maybe the Cubs have played this right. It's frustrating, but maybe they have played their cards right so far.
Ryan, you go first.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, same thing. Like, there's no updates on the Bellinger front. Obviously, he didn't make any sort of Dexter Fowler type walkouts onto the field to surprise his teammates and everybody else. That hasn't happened yet. But yeah, no, I think both sides can be valid, right? Like Jed Hoyer not coming up from his asking price could cost them Cody Bellinger eventually, but Scott Boris, not wanting to come down from his asking price could burn some teams out and just make some teams kind of give up on that quest, and go the different direction. We've already seen it in part with some like the Giants, right? Signing some was it the guy out of Korea? I think I don't remember exactly who. The Giants signed an outfielder, brought him in and kind of and that too. Now they got him, but so they've kind of put themselves out of the Bellinger sweepstakes. They pivoted and made other additions that have now, it seems like, cost Boris at least one of the teams that could have been a suitor for Bellinger. So I think both sides can be true that whichever team Bellinger signs with, like the front office and the agent are going to have to meet in the middle at some point. But yeah, it's both teams are going to have to give a little bit. Both sides are going to have to give a little bit. Otherwise, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's day 136 of the Cody Bellinger free agency experience. I don't have any answers for y'all anymore, man. Like, I went on the rant yesterday. Like, I still feel the same. I just think that this is a terrible way to grow the game if you're looking at it from a league standpoint. I think that players should get the deal that they're deserved. But at the same time, like, I don't know how. Like, you see fans in the chat, you see people on social media. Like, it's the fact that these main guys are, pitchers and catchers report, like, technically supposed to report tomorrow. Like, it just, like, this is not good for the game, man. I'm gonna die on that hill. I don't care what anyone says. Doesn't mean I don't want players to get the deal they deserve, but like the fact that you're at spring training, the start of the season, the start of spring training, and you're going to be asking questions about Cody Bellinger and them signing him at spring training. That's enough for me to just, like, what else do I have to say?
Well,
it's a mess. It's bullshit. In all honesty,
I think I disagree to a point, honestly, that as far as growing the game, like the casual fan, the fan that might turn into becoming a baseball fan, doesn't give a damn about the offseason as much as the games themselves, right? So I don't think like changing the offseason is going to make the people that love baseball explode, like the population that loves baseball explode. But I mean, in a sense, I do agree that, I mean, it's not great for the game, right? It's not great for.
And that's what I'm basically saying.
Maybe turning off the fans that are already there because they want to know who's going to be on the team. They want to know where these best players are going to sign. So you may turn off some fans in a sense, but I don't know that it's as far as growth, the offseason and free agency really helps that much. I don't know, and I'm just saying that based on my own opinion, right? But I mean, I agree in a sense that like you could be hurting the fans that are already here and don't want to see this process dragged out any longer.
It's definitely a turnoff to people who for sure care. Of course, we're like, we're diehard baseball fans, and so we're going to pay attention anyway. But like, it gets to a point to where you just feel like it's insanity. Like
it's a long time.
A lot of us are at a point where we're just like, it's so bad now, Ryan, that people are starting to talk themselves out of Cody Bellinger, like thinking that it would be a bad move for the Cubs to get Cody Bellinger now. Like, that's where it's at, man. From a fan standpoint, specifically, not from a baseball standpoint, just from a fan standpoint. There are people in our chat, there are people on social media saying this, man. Like, there has to be, again, there has to be something that changes this at some point down the line. I know you got to wait till the next collective bargaining agreement, all that shit. I understand that we'll probably do this again next offseason with Boris clients, but it doesn't take away the point that it's bullshit.
We have a super chat about that. Jim Barista says, $4.99. Thank you guys at CHGO Cubs for showing up every weekday to talk Cubs baseball through the most boring off season in years. Appreciate you all. Thank you for that. Fernando is one of those guys that thinks Belly's making a mistake by not just getting there now. Late spring start will be the slow start excuse for Belly. Devil's advocate, spin zone as you like to call it, Cody. He could walk onto the field when full team arrives, just like Dexter Fowler, and it would be #vibes.
Yeah. And Dexter Fowler had the best season of his career that year.
But
it is different. Go ahead, Ryan.
Say other spin zone to that is that, if we're being honest, position players don't need as much time to ramp up as like pitchers do. So even if he were to come in like on March 1st, like I don't think it'd be the end of the world. But yeah, like you'd obviously like to have your full team in Mesa as soon as possible.
And Nico Horner's the guy that pointed out today, you were there, Ryan, that like Bellinger's big season last year, his bounce back season after 2 great years. Now, Nico wasn't saying this like, oh, that's what he should have done, but he points out that, I mean, Bellinger was there right after New Year's Day last year. Mm-hmm. So in order to turn his career back around, what he did was show up on like January 1st. And that was the path for a good season last year. Now, Horner saying to Ryan and some reporters, I've definitely kind of given him his space talking about Cody Bellinger. I just hope that the process is what he wants and he gets what he deserves. He's been everything you could ask for from a teammate, just so consistent with his work. It's just really satisfying to see a good person just earn such a great spot for themselves. Obviously, I'd love to have him here. That'd be amazing, but I'm just happy for him too as a person. Cool. Now I hope he's on the Cubs. Right? Like, I don't need to see him. And I heard the rumor, yesterday we're talking about the rumor, Dodgers, and I almost vomited. No, Astros. We heard the Astros rumor yesterday.
I was like, Dodgers, where'd you see that?
Not Dodgers. I meant Astros. No. And that would be, I couldn't take it.
Yeah, I would say Nico didn't outwardly he didn't take the Dansby Swanson route, taking the stage at Cubs convention and saying we need to re-sign Belly. But they feel the same way. And I think most of the guys in that clubhouse feel the same way, that like, obviously adding Cody Bellinger, even if he wasn't on the team last year, would be a huge move. But to bring back one of the guys they fought with for an entire season, really turn himself around and mixed well with that group. I mean, that adds another layer onto why they all want him back so much. And so you could ask anyone, tell you the same thing, that they want him back.
Right, and I guess I didn't phrase that right. Rich and some other people are pointing out that he lives there in the off season, so it's not like he got there on January 1st. No, but he was working out at the Cubs facility.
He was at the complex like as soon as the new year turned last year.
As soon as he could get there, he was working out at the complex. Obviously, he's not going to do it as a free agent because he doesn't want to get hurt and lose all his money.
Right.
But
if I remember correctly, he may have been here like not too long after he signed last year. And that was like December 22. That was winter meetings. Right. So he may have already been coming to the complex like not very long after he is signed, if I remember
because he lives correctly.
There. But even then, like he was already going to the facility, working out and stuff.
And I mean, maybe this is just more of like my own talking myself in my head, but he's had to have heard a lot of the conversation, the discourse related to him and his free agency, and about how teams are, questioning which version of him he is. I feel pretty good about him coming into 2024 motivated to be what he was last year. I don't see a letdown. And again, he'll be entering age 29 season. Like there's still still plenty of reason for him to continue to try and be a really good player. Not that players don't do that anyway, but I'm getting the vibe in the chat, the YouTube chat, trying to like kind of start that discourse, and I'm putting a stop to it because it's stupid.
I'm going to admit something. I'm with Gary on this. I'm with Gary. I still think it's happening on 2/24/24. That's the new date I'm setting as Cody Bellinger Day now.
I'll already be out there.
They're just going to wait for the 24th on year 24 for number 24, and he's going to walk out onto the field, and all the players will go crazy, and we'll all forget about how long it was. Deal?
I'm in. I mean, I'll be.
I don't want to wait that long, but I think it could happen.
This
The
is
vibes
the
would be
third
immaculate.
date you've set, right? No, fourth date that you've set for Cody Bellinger.
No, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. I'm predicting 2/24/24. That's what I'm doing here.
Oh God, please.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll take it beforehand so I can stop doing these stupid Instagram videos, counting down the days.
Counting down every single day.
I like those.
I appreciate that, Sarah.
So what happens tomorrow then, Ryan? Ryan, everybody, all the pitchers and catchers have to be there tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So we might get a
Pitchers and
little
catchers
more,
report.
and then a week later is full team.
Yeah, I think Monday is the day full team's got to be here. But like I said, most of the team is already here working out. They may not be like a bunch of scheduled stuff for position players until Monday, but most of the team is already here, has been here working out and stuff. And that's, that's talking to Nico. That's another thing he noted that, he doesn't know specifically that a bunch of guys are getting here extra early so that they can, just based on how the season ended, and that's a huge factor. He doesn't know for sure that that's it, but I think he does. He sees a lot of guys that are motivated to be better, guys that may have had good seasons but want to go out and have great seasons. I even asked him, personally, what's kind of the off season been like for him, as far as coming off a kind of a breakout season for him. What has been your motivation this off season to try to improve on that even in 24? And he kind of the first thing I said, and I liked this, was that he kind of wants to have the same mindset of improving regardless of how good his season was the year prior, like for the rest of his career. Like regardless of how good or bad he does, the goal should always be to improve on it. And I kind of like that notion, just keeping that in his head. But just talked about being able to be out there the entire season. I don't even know if he went on the IL at all. I don't remember for sure, but just being able to make it through the grind of the 162, especially that second half where they were really no days off for a lot of those guys. So back to the original point, like he's seeing a lot of guys here with a lot of motivation to be better themselves in 2024. And so, you have most of the position players already here, probably, already working out, doing drills and stuff. But that's coming up next Monday would be then. Like I said, we'll have pitchers and catchers tomorrow, front office talks, Craig Counsell talks, and really hit the ground running for spring training.
I mean, Ryan is our boots on the ground. That's our guy, right? And he's boots on the ground. Cody, if Ryan can't get Bellinger signed, then Cody will be out there next week.
Yeah, I will be. I will be there, and I will be, I don't know, kicking and screaming or something. I don't know what I'll be doing, but
yeah. By the way, Ryan, have you hit In and Out yet? When is that on the schedule?
So I'm a Whataburger guy, and yes, I did hit Whataburger last night.
Oh,
Whataburger,
good choice.
In-N-Out's good, and Whataburger clears it by miles.
That's a great call.
I like In-N-Out, but I mean,
But Whataburger is better. It's just not as talked about sometimes.
dude, that's true. It is underrated.
we don't talk enough about Whataburger.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't talk about it a lot here because there's not one here in the Midwest.
Right, which is criminal.
We need to bring one. We need
All right,
to start
Ryan.
the campaign to bring one out to Chicago.
Tomorrow, we expect a Hawaiian shirt because I've looked at your forecast. Let me look again. We don't want this. What do I got here? 38. Tomorrow, Ryan's got 70 degrees for a high. Thursday, 73. Friday, 74. Saturday, 78. Sunday, 75. Monday, 75. Tuesday, 79. 76, 73. He's in paradise.
Yeah.
He's in paradise.
I agree.
Break out the Hawaiians.
I'll have the hoodie when I arrive here, in the morning, and it's a little chilly. But then when the day heats up, Hawaiians will come out. That's how we got to do it.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you jumping on. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, unless, of course, Bellinger signs tonight, and then we have the emergency podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
All right,
Thanks.
guys. Thanks.
Cody, tell us about our friends at Prize Picks.
Prize Picks. Could have made some money on Prize Picks on the day of the Super Bowl. Maybe make some. You got college basketball tonight. You got NBA. You can do it all on Prize Picks, right? It's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS because, Luke, and let me emphasize this.
Yeah.
It's just you against the numbers, man. It's not like going on some of these other platforms where you have to face your friends or random people that you're never going to meet in your life and you lose by 1 or 2 points and you know that person's happy and you lose and you get nothing. At least in this instance, when you lose, it's just because your number didn't go over, right?
It's your own fault.
It's your own fault for not being smart at betting, right? So instead of battling thousands of players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. All right. Prize Picks is the most fun that I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this basketball season, this hockey season, this college basketball season, this NFL season that just ended. Again, you select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats. It's like over-unders for like props. Like, for instance, I had the over, or I had more than on Deebo Samuel on rushing the other day on the Super Bowl. Didn't come close, so I lost.
But Dubs won $63 on Prize
Exactly.
Picks.
Like if you'd gone less, then you
credit
you
to him.
won, you know, you would have got a lot of credit. I would have given you a lot of credit. All right. So again, the Bulls were on last night. Would you have taken Ayo Dosunmu's more than threes or just more than on points? Because the dude had a career high, Illini legend, by the way. If you'd done anything with Ayo Dosunmu last night on Prize Picks, you would have made lots of money. All right. So it's one of the great things. All right. You must do this. I'm telling you. Prize Picks is the place to be. All right. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
I wish you guys could see what's going on behind the scenes right now here at CHGO.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say it. I'm just telling you there's a new partner in the building. We're excited. The announcement's coming soon. I don't want to give it away like I gave away the Corey Crawford thing by accident the other day. Don't tell the old guy the details. I know the details, but look at me keeping a secret. I'm just telling you, new partner in the house. We're very excited.
Credit to him for not revealing.
Credit to me for not giving it away early.
Very
big of me, credit to me. Thank you very much. By the way, I should tell you, I don't know if you know this, it is getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles right now. It's something, we can all get behind for us and for, the well-being of all of us who share this beautiful planet.
Absolutely, Luke. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence toward an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van, a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do, Cody?
Luke, how many times do I have to tell you?
Yeah?
You got to go to ComEd.com/clean, all right, to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Well, thanks to Mike Dubs, I just realized that Justin Steele's 170.5 strikeouts on Prize Picks. And so I missed what you were saying. Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
Yeah. I don't blame you for missing that.
I missed it.
Because that is a huge prop on Prize Picks I would love to take. But, yes, go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future of generations to come.
Yeah, again, listen, I'm not going to give anything away because that's not what I do. I do it, but I didn't do it on purpose. I'm just telling you, new sponsor in the building, and all I can tell you about that exciting announcement that will be coming up is that beer bats are going to vibe this year. That's all I can say.
Better than they ever did before.
Beer bats are going to vibe this year. After every win. Anyways.
Which we're manifesting at least 90 one way or another. Somehow, some way.
We did have was it Wild Thought Wednesday last week where I said, bring Soler back. Look at all the power he gives you.
Yeah.
Make him the DH. And then we realized that wasn't a good idea. But anyways, he's not coming to the Cubs. Former Cub, always a Cub,
Cubs legend.
Jorge Soler.
World Series champion.
World Series champion.
Two-time
People
World
forget
Series
that.
champion.
3 years.
One with the Cubs, one with the one with the Braves. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years, $42 million to the Giants. He fits that lineup. He does fit that lineup. They need right-handed power. I just don't think I have no anger about it because I don't think he fits what the Cubs need. There's much cheaper ways of getting the right-handed power, whether that's Wisdom playing more in a DH role, whether that's Morel playing more as DH, whether that's Canario getting a shot.
Well, just when you think about it, do you want Jorge Soler to take the at-bats away from Christopher Morel? Do you want Jorge Soler to take at-bats away from Alexander Canario if he's here, if they don't trade him, which spring training technically starts tomorrow? I feel like he's going to be here. And also, he's a right-handed power bat. The Cubs have plenty of those guys. I never thought that the Cubs were ever interested or serious about him at all. It's a nice contract for him. Like he's a very good player.
$14 million a year.
He hit almost 40 bombs last year. Like I get it. Like I understand why there were some fans who wanted him, but it's like the Cubs have so many right-handed bats. It doesn't make any sense. And again, at this point, for what we know, Christopher Morel is going to be the DH. That's what I'm going into spring training thinking. Like I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that they move him, like they put him at a position. But I'm right now I'm thinking
agree.
he's going to be the DH again. Like I have no choice other than to believe that. Unless they really do give him that full shot at third base, I think he's going to be your main DH.
Yeah, Bellinger is story number 1 until opening day, and whatever Morel ends up being will be story number 2 all spring. And I agree with you. I don't expect him to be the opening day third baseman. If he is, and he's improved his defense, credit to him, bonus to the Cubs.
Yeah.
But I think the most likely scenario is that he's probably going to be the DH this year.
Yeah, and
more often than not. He's going to play some, but more often than not, I bet he's your DH.
But again, I would love for that storyline to change. But at this point, we just don't have any evidence that shows that that's going to happen, especially what they said at CubsCon, like we've talked about the last handful of weeks. Like, so to bring it back around, like Jorge Soler just didn't have a spot on this roster, man. Like, do you want to take away at bats from Christopher Morel? I don't think any of you in the chat want to do that. So, like, it's fine. I don't think anyone was real serious about Jorge Soler being a Cub, in my opinion. But it would have been nice to add the power if that's a thing, but I don't know what else to tell y'all. Like this is how I'm viewing it, and I think if I'm reading it right, then that's how I think the Cubs are viewing it too.
Barb's calling, by the way, Barb, of course, the godmother of the CHGO Cubs podcast, is calling Morel's going to hit more homers than Juan Soto this year.
It's a bold
Kool-Aid.
take.
A lot of Kool-Aid, Barb.
That's a bold
That's
take.
some blue Kool-Aid if you're predicting the Super Bowl Kool-Aid color.
She also predicts Jackson Ferris
blue.
will be a Hall of Famer. So
we'll see.
Listen, put some respect on Juan Soto's name. Come on now, Barb. Come on.
How about a friend of the podcast, John Morosi from MLB Network, our pal, saying that the Cubs are monitoring Noah Syndergaard and Michael Lorenzen. You buying that? You buying stock in one of those? Keeping an eye on those two guys?
Maybe Lorenzen. I'm not high on Syndergaard at this point in his career. Like he's one of the few ones who had Tommy John and then did not get better.
Right.
His velocity is significantly
become
dropped.
A different pitcher.
Like when you look at Noah Syndergaard and you think about the times that he hurt the Cubs, it was before Tommy John. The guy was throwing upper 90s, had electric stuff, he had electric hair. People were calling him Thor, all these things. But he is not that guy anymore. The only thing that I can think of is, he's cheap, and the Cubs are thinking, okay, throw him in the pitch lab. There's no risk in it. Like, if you give him, the minor league deal or something like that, let him come in, spring training invite, and see what happens, great. And then if he looks good, okay. But, he's going to be battling for a spot against a lot of dudes who are honestly better than him. So, Lorenzen, at least there's some recent success there.
Here's what
I'm at.
Here's what I like about the report. It goes back to what we've talked about for 2 years. Build depth, right? If the deal's not too expensive, does either guy excite me? No, I'd rather have Lorenzen than I would Syndergaard, but it's about building quality depth, right? I just saw at the very beginning of the podcast, somebody in the live chat was telling us that at that moment, former Cub Adrian Sampson had signed with, was it the Giants?
Someone said that in the chat?
Yeah, that Adrian Sampson had just signed, I'm sure it's a minor league deal, show up to spring training type of deal, but that's what I'm talking about.
I think Sarah's trying to find it.
It was way at the beginning of the show.
Oh, really?
Way at the beginning of the show. And I just kind of let it go by, but I did see somewhere that Adrian Sampson had signed with somebody. See if we can find it in there. Who was telling us that? Maybe somebody remembers in the chat and can tell us. Anyways, it's not significant to this. I'm just saying that's the type of depth you need. You need other guys that you're not thinking about going into the season that may need to have a start or two, or that are capable of a start or two, or that can get you through a stretch of the season when you really need that extra arm. So I'm not saying they desperately need those guys. I personally think the Cubs could be done setting up their arms for the season. Clearly, they're not done with the bats for the season. They can't be. Because if they're done with the bats for the season, then we're in trouble.
I agree.
Pitchers, it's okay if they are, but I still wouldn't mind a little extra depth if you can afford it somewhere. So
yeah, Lorenzen to me makes a lot of sense. And one thing, and I got to give a lot of credit to Sahadev Sharma from The Athletic today in his article that he put out there. I think it might have been co-written with Patrick Mooney, so I'll just mention them both anyway. But when they were talking about the pitching, because it's kind of, they have a column or like subheadings talking about pitching or starting pitching, bullpen, offense. And when they got to the pitching, he emphasized about how Counsell, when he was with Milwaukee, how they would give a lot of guys like extra rest. Like Corbin Burns would have more than 5 days off in between starts, like a lot during his time with the Brewers. So I'm thinking about a lot of these swingman guys, or it got me thinking about a lot of these swingman guys the Cubs have. There's a comment. John Golden, Rangers signed Adrian Sampson to a minor league deal. Anyway,
I knew I saw it somewhere.
So when you think about the Cubs swingman guys they have in the rotation / bullpen, it's Javier Assad,
Yep.
Hayden Wesneski,
Assman, Wesneski,
Drew Smiley.
Yep.
Those three are the top ones on my head. But like then you can think about maybe a Ben Brown if they call him up this year, which he probably will be. He's healthy. Right?
You don't know if Wicks could end up being
Jordan Wicks could perhaps be that if they do add another pitcher. But Michael Lorenzen would be right in that as well. So the way that I think about it is it's like, and it goes back to a quote that Jed had at Cubs convention, something about how like when you looked at 2016, you had their starting rotation and all of them were healthy the entire season and they won the World Series that way. And he said something about how like, that feels like 100 years ago. That doesn't happen. Like no one around the league is doing that anymore, and you need more depth and like pitching wise to get through a full 162. And so when you talk about Michael Lorenzen, that's what makes me intrigued about him.
Sure.
And I guess same thing about Noah Syndergaard, but it's just like he would be a reclamation project. And the Cubs have enough of those guys, man.
Well, Keegan Thompson could be that guy, too.
Thompson,
the mayor could have a bounce back here.
Here's the hoping. Like, they have plenty of – it feels
Man,
like they
was a weapon the year before. Like
he was. It feels like the Cubs have a lot of swingman guys, but the thing is not all of them are going to be on the Major League roster from April 1st or whatever to the end of the year. They're going to need some of those guys to remain in Iowa and the guys who pitch well in the spring and have more upside in terms of how the Cubs think, then those guys are going to be on the roster opening day. But what I'm saying is that whoever's in the starting rotation opening day, don't be surprised if we see a lot of them get more rest throughout the year, more than 5 days. Maybe they get 6 days off. Like I'm just saying, Craig Counsell did that. Craig Counsell did that with Milwaukee. So like, why wouldn't he do that with the Cubs? So that's just something to really pay attention to. And honestly, I like the idea of it because it just provides more rest. And as we saw, even with Justin Steele specifically last year at the end of the year, man, he reached a career high in innings pitched in his last 2 starts. He wasn't very good in those last 2 starts, and it's probably because he was out of gas, man.
Yeah.
He probably needed some extra rest. And
if you get to the playoffs, I mean, obviously step one is getting the playoffs, but you don't want to be totally worn out either.
So, again, when it comes to like a guy like Michael Lorenzen or a Noah Syndergaard, that's how I view them. Like they're going to be a guy who can probably help in your bullpen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get a start here or there too.
David Snyder in the live YouTube chat says, Syndergaard likely a bargain price. Liam Hendricks also a bargain pitcher. He wants to stay in Chicago. Jed's a bargain hunter. If we get Belly, he should lead off until he slumps. All right. Well, I don't know about all of that, but I agree with some of it.
That was
a lot packed into one. That's a good comment.
I mean, I don't hate it.
No, I don't.
And that's another thing that Counsell did too. He would play his best player at the very top of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean, I called for it last year to be the number 2 hitter.
Yeah.
I wanted him 2 or 3, so I at least knew that there was a chance he was going to get the extra at bat.
Yeah. I mean, he consistently in the Brewers lineup last year, it was Yelich and William Contreras at the very top of the lineup. You look at the Cubs lineup right now, you add in Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is the best hitter on your team. He's undoubtedly the best hitter. After that, maybe it's Ian Happ or it's Seiya, something like that. Like it's kind of like that's how I view that the lineup's going to be made. I think it's going to be a lot different than what we saw from David Ross. So. I'm looking at this live YouTube chat. I see us on the screen there. I'm surrounded by cactuses. Cacti? They're at my feet. They're at my side. Lot to think about there. Lot of prickly cactus. You know what I think about more than that, though? Floors.
How can I upgrade my flooring?
Yeah, see? I was thinking exactly
How
what
can
you were
I
thinking.
upgrade my flooring today? And the answer is Empire Today. You get to shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs. Empire Today is the best place to get your new flooring. So, of course, there's copycats out there, but those copycats can't keep up with the quality, service, speed, or any of the other stuff that they do so well at Empire. First of all, they take the garbage samples out of it. They don't allow you to get the cheap stuff that's just going to fall apart and you're going to be angry about. They only give you the best quality items. That's it. So that's why they're not saying we're the lowest price on the market. They're giving you the good stuff at the best price. So, and then they give you the virtual floor designer, which allows you to snap a picture of your room and then virtually see what it's going to look like in your space, which is hard to visualize sometimes. So that really helps. And you can go to the big box store and you might go there and you might say, oh, I can get my new flooring here. Yep. And you might have someone helping you that was working in plumbing the day before. They might have been in lumber. They could be overselling drills the day before that. They might have been selling indoor Christmas trees the time before that. You just never know. So Empire, all they do is flooring. And they service their own warranties too. If an issue arises with Empire, all you have to do is call them because they service their own warranty. You don't have to track down the manufacturer's phone number. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, and you're not going to believe this, but it's true. Listeners here at CHGO, are you ready for it? That's right, The Godfather is $350 off. All you have to do is use the code CHGO. The Godfather of CHGO, Michael Collada, he did it. Got $350 off his new flooring. Credit to him. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. Again, the promo code CHGO gets you $350 off. Now, we've been talking a lot about our partners today, and we've got great partners, and I'm telling you, we got a new one coming in that's going to be spectacular. Going to blow your socks off.
It will mix well with this next one.
It's going to mix well with this one. But everything goes well with this one. Charlie the Bacon Guy. Based out of Woodridge, Illinois, he makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 35 different flavors. I was kind of going through his website the other day, and I was just thinking, where do I want to dabble here? Where do I want to, what do I want to try out? I've got some ideas. I have some ideas. I really do think I want to try out the French toast one. Bacon jams, all naturally cured, preservative-free products. There aren't any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike most store-bought bacon. Vacuum sealed, freezes perfectly. Bacon lasts in a package up to 60 days in the fridge 1 week after the seal is broken, 9 months in the freezer. Bacon jam lasts 90 days in the fridge, up to a year in the freezer, and about 30 seconds here at CHGO. Some of my favorites: maple pepper, rosemary, chorizo. Now, I haven't tried the French toast, but that's the one I want to go after. Also, Korean barbecue, giardiniera, ranch, Old Bay. The bacon jam flavors, well, I've tried a lot of those. The original itself is spectacular, okay? And it improves anything. It goes on scrambled eggs. It goes with toast. It goes with crackers. It really cranks up. You want to haul out the grill right now and you think you make a good burger? Wait till you throw some of Charlie the Bacon Guy's bacon jam on there. Or slide it into your grilled cheese, right? Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Is there a better gift than bacon jam?
No.
Hi, dear. I have 3 different types of bacon jam for you to try tonight. Honey, I made you one of my patented grilled cheeses, and wait till you taste the bacon jam that I slipped in there. You're not going to believe it. Or you really want to show off for the wife or husband, and you're like, hey, guess what? Valentine's Day, I made a charcuterie board. I got all kinds of cheeses on there. That's great. Maybe I got a little salami on there. Put a slab of bacon jam on and watch your partner melt right there. They just won't even know what to do. They're just going to they'll probably faint.
I mean, you're giving great Valentine's Day advice here.
Listen, you want to spice up your life? Bring a little bacon jam into your life. Starting now, you can save 10% on your order at charliethebaconguy.com when you use the code CHGO. Again, 4 most important letters in the alphabet, CHGO. At checkout, you can pick it up. That's the most efficient way. Or Charlie will deliver it to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. Don't disappoint your loved one on Valentine's Day. Give them what they want. Bacon.
You do that.
Lots and lots of bacon.
You do that, we'll give you lots of credit.
That's right.
We have like 170 some people watching.
How about
and only
that?
49 likes.
That's not right.
And we even have a thumbs down.
I was
Like,
going to say,
well,
don't
we
forget
always
about
have
the
a thumbs
thumbs down.
yeah, like
we always have a thumbs
make
down.
that make sense. I don't
It's I love it. That's my favorite part of the show is when I see the thumbs down come in, I'm always like, yep, whoever that loser is, we got to him again.
Yeah. Credit to us. We got to that loser.
Whoever that
again.
loser is, they just wasted 10 seconds of their life going in and putting down that
Speaking
thumbs
of
down.
losers, there's this guy. He watched our show last week, and he said he
Shout out
watched
to
it.
you.
He said he watched the show for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, said that it was the first and only time he'll ever watch the show. And then, he replied to one of our tweets that I put up last night. I'm like, bro, no one's asking you to be here if you don't listen. You love the show. You want to watch the show. Hey, we appreciate y'all who want to watch the show, but we ain't forcing you to be here.
Oh,
man.
no.
So I'm convinced maybe the guy giving us the thumbs down is that guy.
Well,
Because he's here, but
he or she is
he's
definitely
like
not a
he's
diehard,
like hate watching us right now,
which is
convinced.
wonderful.
Which I appreciate. You want to hate watch? You listen. I love a good hate watch. All right. Anytime the Cardinals or the Packers in the playoffs, I'm
right.
you, bro. I'm you. When the Cardinals or the Packers are in the playoffs, I'm you. I'm hate watching the shit out of that. All right.
Carter
so
Hawkins
I appreciate
thinks it's
you
Barb.
for being that.
Carter Hawkins thinks it's Barb. Here's what I say. Whoever the thumbs down person is, go ahead, send us a direct message. Let us know who you are. Maybe the Godfather, Michael Collada, will make you a heart-shaped pizza like he does every Valentine's Day.
Ooh, credit to Godfather.
Play this into something special.
Credit to Godfather.
Godfather will make you one of those heart-shaped pizzas. I know Malnati's makes those too, but
Godfather is, he definitely has the brand of bitterness, but when it comes to what he's got to do to make,
Heart of
I'm
gold.
assuming his wife
Heart
happy,
of gold.
he has
Yeah.
a heart of gold. He's
or
a
in
good
this
man.
case, a heart of sausage pizza.
Credit
What kind of
to
pizza is it?
Godfather.
Godfather. I saw Mike Dubs offering up you because you sounded so sad about Cody Bellinger. Do you need a heart-shaped Portillo's cake?
Well, he was
for the holiday.
He was,
and my
promoting
answer
it.
is no, Mike. He doesn't. I do.
I don't. If I'm still trying to drop the 30 pounds that I'm trying to drop before opening day,
Right.
And I haven't
But because
stepped
I
on
look
scale
like Usher, I'm willing to
in a
eat
week,
that
but-
cake for you.
yeah,
Right?
I might have a bite though.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Can we do that again? It's like
Oh,
when you sing
but-
Creed. Yeah.
By the way, I did check into Usher's new album today while I was at the gym.
Of course you did.
It's good.
That's why he spent the $7 million on performing, because he knew a lot of people were going to check that out.
People like me. Yeah.
45 and still dancing. Pretty impressive. He'll need a new hip pretty soon, though. So I know Cody wanted to talk about this because I saw it on social media before I got here. And
I'm not upset about it
you're
at all.
not really upset about it, but some people on Twitter were a little upset about it.
I mean, I'm a little annoyed by it. Like,
There's
I'll
a
get
new
over it,
home
but-
jersey. It still looks the same. But some people don't like what's altered on it. You think the font
text.
is different?
It's the text.
the name
or
is
the
smaller.
font. Yes, the name is smaller, all right? This is...
It does sort of look like a knockoff with the name being that
Yeah.
small.
I saw this tweeted from the guys over at Just Baseball, and it's a picture that's taken by someone on Twitter with the handle I Hate Lettuce 2. Great name, by the way. And it's just a picture of an Ian Happ jersey at the Cubs store today. And I'm telling you, if you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening to the podcast version, just like go look at, if you live in Chicago or if you live in Wrigley, like just go look at it yourself or come to the YouTube channel and see. Like, I'm bothered by the size of the font. I really am. It
As
bothers
someone
me.
who used to work at the Cubs store, the one in Wrigley Field,
You
and I
did?
used to, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did it for 3.5 years.
So you could have got us a discount, huh?
I did. That was my Christmas presents for quite a few years.
Maybe you still know some people.
Anyways, first,
Anyway,
I used to make jerseys there all the time, like the custom jerseys and everything. And when I look at that photo, it looks like the letters they're using are the kid-size letters because they have the adult-size letters and then the kid jersey ones. And those letters look like the kid jersey ones that they're using then on the adult jersey.
So maybe the photo was taken of the discount rack. Like some employees started throwing the wrong letters on and like, hey, these are
Maybe.
40% off.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know yet.
I like the letters a little bigger, and then I don't know.
Now, I will say I came across an article that has quotes from certain players who have seen them and have kind of said good things about them. Like, I think it was, I don't know why it was quotes from Cardinals players, but like Nolan Arenado likes it. I guess it's not as heavy, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah.
So, like, for playing, perhaps it's probably better for the players. But I also know that, like, Miles Michaelis, and I can't believe I'm agreeing with Miles Michaelis on something let's not take note of this at all. Like, let's please forget this. But I'm giving him credit for something, for saying that, like, he thinks that the uniform is awful. He says it looks cheap. Yeah, so, like, it's kind of,
Boy,
there's no, like, middle ground.
Godfather's got something to say about that, I'm sure, when you said the word cheap. I'm thinking exactly what Rob and some other people in the live YouTube chat, part of the
What, about
CHGO Cubs
PCA?
family, I'm going to say Spin Zone. They're making the font smaller because they got to get Crow Armstrong on there
They
looking
found
better
a way
next
to
year.
do it. They found a way
Yeah,
to
but
do
it's
it
going to look
last
better.
year.
They wrapped around a little too much. They were like, you know what?
I think it looks cool.
He's going to be our
around.
next star player. Let's shrink the font.
I don't know. The thing is that every team it's going to be like this for every team, Luke. It's not just a Cubs thing.
Would you not let the facts get in the way of a good
In
story?
this instance, no, because you know what? Fans want to buy a damn jersey, man. I ain't going to at this point because I'm like, it's kind of weird for someone my age to be buying a younger man's jersey. But, you know, like, I just think fans deserve better.
It
Like, I
looks
feel
like
like
the same
Nike
jersey,
had
right?
one job, bro, and they messed it up. I'm sorry. And will I get over it? Yes, I'll probably get over it in, like, you know, tomorrow. But
Right.
to me, like, this is it. I'm kind of siding with Miles Michaelis. It looks kind of cheap. Looks like they could have done better.
Well, they
goes
did
back
get the
into-
Jordan pitch right, so credit to them.
Yeah, what it is, what it is. Like, I'm whatever about it, but I just feel like it could be better. I'm sorry.
They got to make room for Slaughter on the back, Gary says.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Gary.
By the way, I also saw, speaking of things you can go buy, that our Twitter follow 1 Million Cubs. We had him on at the
They had him
trade show
on at
last
the trade
year.
show last year,
Cubs
yeah.
fan who's trying to collect 1 million Cubs baseball cards is now up to 994, 595. And the newest one is something that gets Brendan Miller's hair even wavier. Even wavier. Just a little more volume and a little more wave to it.
My favorite player.
Dansby Swanson's Topps card for this year. That's a sharp-looking baseball card. I haven't bought a baseball card in a long time, but I'm thinking my son sometime soon might want to collect baseball cards. That's a pretty good one.
You know what? I feel like this could be your new bit, and I see this on the internet a lot, but, like, people like watching people do shit. People would love to watch you open baseball cards. That could be your new thing.
Right. Probably with my shirt off, but that's a whole nother.
Well, you won't even be in the video. It's just be your hands opening.
Oh, just
the
my
cards.
hands. Oh,
Yeah.
I have model hands, right?
I think people would love watching you opening a pack of like a one of those
Watching
big
my
giant
hands do it,
boxes
yeah.
doing that. Yeah, I think people would enjoy that.
He got a whole case of them. I saw they were all showing up.
It's weird how people like watching people do shit, but
It really
people like
is.
watching people open baseball cards
Really
or
is.
whatever. They do.
For the last month, they could have just watched me blow my nose.
I don't know if they want to see that, but
But you never know.
never
People
know.
are
though.
weird. They're freaky.
People are weird. You are right.
This year's Topps card looks really good, says Dubs. I agree. That's
Dubs
that's
a big
pretty
cards
sharp. I
guy.
like some of the ones they've done. I just see them briefly. But the one year they flashed back to like 83 or 84 or something like that. And they've done some like retro ones that go back. This one looks a little more modern.
Yeah.
I'm in on it. Anything else you guys want to talk about in the chat? No? Good? We're good? We're back. By the way, 3:30 is the live showtime every day this week. 3:30. Okay?
3:30.
3:30 is the live time for CHGO Cubs this week. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube page so you don't miss any live shows. Ryan will join us live from Sloan Park again tomorrow with all the latest from Cubs camp.
Hopefully, we get some good stuff.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers officially have to be there tomorrow.
Pitchers and catchers.
Pitchers and catchers.
Which
But
says very big things about Nico Horner being there for like the last 2 weeks. Just saying.
But if we could get Belly to show up,
Day 136 and counting.
tomorrow's 137.
I'm not getting off the soapbox.
Wait a minute. What if the Cubs are waiting for Valentine's Day?
God, don't let me talk.
What if they're
myself
waiting
into
for
it.
Valentine's Day?
Ugh, God.
Right?
No.
They present everybody on the team. Cody Bellinger runs out and he jumps up and he leg locks one of the other players like the Bachelor contestants all do.
He pops out of a heart-shaped cookie.
Yeah, just
Pops out of a
pops
heart-shaped
out.
cake
Cake, yeah.
holding Charlie the Bacon Guy
Yeah.
bacon jam for all of his teammates.
Wow.
I see it.
What
Huh?
I would
see it.
assume that we as a company would get so much credit for that. I feel.
We'd be
ton.
unstoppable.
And hopefully Ryan wears that Hawaiian shirt tomorrow, but we'll wait and see. He was a little chilly today. 70
even though it was
degrees.
70 degrees.
Soft. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Back tomorrow at 3:30. Until then, thanks for watching and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.